It does not have a default constructor, does it? I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's private. I want to have the window that is a standard screen, just the whole thing. It's not there, man. I can just call standard screen, I think. That's probably what we should do. Yeah, that already returns. That is the like literally, I have the window now, standard screen window. Can we print the whole window? Probably not. No, I'll just stick to this. Complete type. We need that on as well then. It's already done. Cannot print. Only find reference. Actually, you can print it. Which library is that part of? Probably should add an alias here. Terminal not depending on TUI? No, of course not. Actually, it's the other way around. Hello. It's in the description. Something is wrong. Undefined reference. Up needs a TUI. I mean, I didn't change the order, so how? Or must it already be added here? Or did I change the order? CR in terminal. Fuck. I did one more. Source. Okay, now I'm actually going to think. Is it not in Ava? Source Ava. 3 down, source. Okay, 2 down. Yeah, so I did change the order. No, it's the same order. Still undefined something. Actually, this is in operator something. Undefined reference to TU, well, terminal user interface to string. That should be defined in a terminal user interface. And we need that in debug. Is that in debug? Nah, nonsense. I think it's terminal depending on TUI, so I have to solve the last two. Still not. Something else, I think. No, it's an undefined something still. Every time I can make it compass 16, I think, translation units more. We are now at 85. Actually, you are at 61. 72. It's doing them all now. Okay, now it's just one left. Still the same error. Let's try linking explicitly with our debug, which just have to leave this for a while. Debug. Terminal. So this thing links with terminal, and then we get the problem. So the problem that it is undefined here is because we link with terminal, and terminal needs our TUI. But of course it doesn't know that. That's why I thought it was nonsense. So instead, we should add it as a dependency to our terminal. A public dependency then? Yeah. Of TUI terminal. This thing depends on our debug. What a circular sheet. Man, it does not make any sense, does it? Let's add our TUI here. don't think that worked, or did it? How is it? I mean, the only thing I changed is a linking thing. Oh, it worked. The recompiled 200 translation units. Absolutely nothing, seriously. I already did the hello world thing, so why would I suddenly not get any debug output? Because the string goes bad while writing it. Maybe? Yeah, that won't work. Oh, because we have a whole different terminal. Probably. You just can't write debug output anymore, I think. It's writing to a private buffer string. Okay, give up. I give up. Let's write to a file or something. It's also not going to work, I think about it. No, that won't work. Let's see if the string. Let's see if it goes bad by just writing something that does work. If the stream goes bad because if I write this, then well, that won't happen if I do this. So I do get twice hello world now, or indeed just one. Just one. Yeah, it's a terminal thing. That is quite annoying. If you suppose a pointer for some reason. Cannot go from F stream to O stream. Pointer. What? I think takes an O string pointer even. What? Did not write anything. How is that possible? How is that possible? What kind of ridiculousness is this? Do I not know how to open a file? It must already exist because you can theoretically also read from it. Yeah. Okay, now we have the debug output, but not very useful. It just prints implementation and then some pointer. It's very not useful. Let's print instead now you have just the size window. Height 52, width 189. No, yes, that's correct. So let's make a pad that is not as wide. Let's say half of it ish. Let's say 90 wide and 100 high. That's also a window. You have to get that from the context. New pad maybe. Pad dimension. Pad size, what do you think? I'm just guessing. If yeah, I can pass the dimension. And that indeed returns a window. And this thing can be deconstructed. How? Height, width. Let's print the pad size. There's no member new pad. Oh. We're talking about context here. Well, there was a new pad. New pad is part of window. Oh, you have to call it on the window. And it returns a window pointer. Let's get what all existing pad functions are. New pad, yeah, that must be it, of course. Totally, that's it. It must be the one. Can create a subpad. Probably first need a pad for that. Why the hell do we need to pass a pointer there? Can it convert a window to window pointer? It's not returning a pointer. I don't know where I saw that. Good. Our pad is 100 by 90, which is what you wanted. Now the most difficult part, to fill it with text. What shall we put in it? What is that thing called? Lorem something? Okay, it's not epsu, but okay, if you type it in, then it probably will work. Epsu lorem lipsum. Tja, gegeten. Considerably wider than the 90 characters that he had. Can I regenerate it with a certain width here? Or just paragraphs? Or no, probably not. Lorem ipsum. Why is it suddenly lorem ipsum here? It is lorem ipsum. Okay, we'll turn it around. You need colors as well, I think. Just for the heck of it. That's even harder. How do you get random colors? I can just literally use random colors, I guess. So I want to fill my pad with that text with a width of 90 characters. Maybe empty lines as well between the sections of the paragraphs, and then just repeat. And then use random colors here and there. And of course I'm not going to code that myself, I'll just ask the AI to do that. Hopefully I was not too late with writing that. It's also going to display it. That would be nice. What? I don't want it to assess terminal screen size. Read the bloody file and understand what we're talking about here. Can still end with something that is correct, I guess. But did we already see it? Read Linux 08pad.cpp. Oh, now it's going to look at it. Oh no, I already did that. I probably read it already. I missed it. We expect a loop, of course, a loop of size 100 for each of the lines. Probably a loop of size 5 to run over all the paragraphs. And then each line must be, each paragraph is a huge line, so it must be cut into pieces of 90 characters. Maybe it separates them in words also, so it turns it into a list of words first. Then we run over words. And then, yeah, somewhere, and I was too lazy to do that myself, it should insert random colors for all that. Looks like it's recompiling all of Ava. So that's going to take a minute. Because, yeah, this target depends on two of the libraries in there, which in themselves maybe depend on everything else, like Java core and everything. You can just look at the source code already. Let's go to experimental stuff. Wrap one space delimited paragraph into lines no wider than max width terminal cells. The test text is ASCII, so byte counts equal terminal cell counts. Words longer, I mean, the real world is of course much more complex, but I kind of tested that already. In this case, we're only really worried about scroll speed. I think I can test that with simple ASCII characters as well. We dump in colors anyway, so it's not super pure only text ASCII. Words longer than max width are kept intact because the supplied law contains no such words. Yeah, we don't have that. Paragraph. I guess this is the whole paragraph. And then it splits it in lines of width of 90. Well, the width of max width. And we get that back as a vector. Okay. Build exactly a pad line count. That is probably 100. It's not being passed here though. What is that? Set at the top. How lame. No, it's only a test. A global constant. That is bad code. I hate it already. Anyway. It creates a vector of strings, 100 of them. No, yeah, whatever. It fills it. I want to see my color. Here's colors. Here's the window pad. Okay, so it finds the start of all the words. Or does it? Move to a row. Set base color. Add the string. Highlight color. Add string word begin. Word end. And then go back to base color and add the rest. I have no idea how it gets that. Do you see a random something? Maybe this is the random generator? I don't get it. Create a pattern on the line that is 90 wide. Colors, line colors, word colors. Is it now displaying the thing or not? It's calling p refresh, but pad refresh, I guess. Just gonna try it out. Nothing is displayed. I would say that's kind of expected. Figured it out myself. Let's assume it filled it. So you have pad, and now we want to show the pad in the terminal, okay, in the standard screen window. Beats me actually how to do that. Okay, I'm gonna ask. Should this already make pad visible too in the standard screen? Yes. Yeah, but I don't see anything. But anyway, I had a feeling also that it is just p-refresh, but let's read the documentation about that. So we're calling p-refresh here, which doing the following thing. If I have documentation, I have that in the header. P-refresh, refresh. Refresh a pad rectangle. Starting at pad pos into a screen rectangle. Into a screen kind of sounds like it should, you know, make it visible. But stage a pad rectangle starting into a screen rectangle without updating the terminal. Yeah, we should not do this because it is definitely not visible, and this is just for a single character. So if I have the function at all, it must be this one. So, and that is calling implementation p-refresh, which is here, which is calling p-refresh ncurses function. And the documentation is there. So let's open that. Control F, p-refresh. Use p-refresh. Description. P-refresh and some p-refresh. Pre-know it. pn out, and nobody knows what it means. I analogous to w refresh and wn out refresh, except that they operate on pads rather than windows. They require additional parameters needed to indicate that portions of the pad and screen are involved. P-min row and P-min call specify the upper left hand corner of a rectangular view of the pad. So I definitely can use 0, 0 there. So p refresh pad, 0, 0, and then we continue with 4 more things. As min row, as min call, as max row, as max call specify the vertices of the rectangle to be displayed on the screen. As a screen. The lower right hand corner of the rectangle to be displayed in the pad is calculated from the screen coordinates, since rectangles must be the same size. What does that mean? I thought that the pad is like big rectangle and the screen is a smaller rectangle, probably, in this case wider than the width of the pad but less high. And that displaying it means I can display a view of the pad. So we need a rectangle which is x, y for the top corner and width height, so that's 4 variables to specify the view inside the pad. And then we need, I guess, 2 more coordinates for the top left, where that view should appear on the screen, the top left of that. But they turn it around somehow. So instead of specifying the size of the view, the output size is specified. And I guess that then the screen row call coincides with the pad row call. Okay. Pad position row, pad position call, screen position row, screen position call, screen max row, screen pos, screen size, screen max row and max called screen pause and screen size. What the hell is that? Plus. The second thing is it must be the size, the dimension of the thing, of the rectangle that we want to see. And the first one must be the same as where we want to see it. That is correct, I think. This is where we want to see it with the screen pause. And then this is the rectangle converted to S-max row and S-max call. This code looks correct. File has changed. Load. Did we change something? No, it shouldn't have. I'm just going to do load, I think. So we get to see the top left corner of the view, and we put it at the top left corner of the screen, and we show the dimension this big, which now is the minimum of the number of rows of the terminal context and the pad dimension. Height, yeah, of course. Yeah, we don't want to show more than fits on the screen, and we can't show more than we have in the pad, which very much depends on the fact that we use 0, 0 here now, but okay. Did it fix something? I guess it found a reason. Confusing. So I change this. Right, it is visible now. Yep, and it starts at the top left corner. I want to start to do mouse input output. It uses the scroll wheel. If I touch my scroll wheel, this happens. instant exit. Any key exits, of course. Why can I not read characters from the terminal? That's ridiculous. I really don't understand how this works. Why is this all so difficult? Oh, it writes okay. Stupid thing is void probably. Int get W. What the hell? What this one? Window. Okay, it's void. Yeah. Almost none of that time was ncurses, I can guarantee you. So one of the others also waits for a certain key, I think. It's key resize, you can see until you can wait for a queue. Apparently, if you press a Q, you'll get a Q. It's a nice thing. So while key is unequal Q, and then we just go to the top, and the pad should be just filled. The only thing I need to repeat is the refresh with different values. Okay. Yeah, key is not defined there. Okay, now I can scroll. I press Q, then it stops. That works. And we should have a lot of debug output now. Yes, a lot of key values, yes. Escape, I recognize. This is B, I think. 91 is, yeah, these just escape values. You should get multiple on a row then. If I scroll. We try to scroll. Nothing. It's not flushed. Yep, that was an F. Capital A is 65. 0, 40, 48. Yep. Escape. 27. Now I'm gonna scroll my scroll wheel. Oh, that is fast. But to the side. To the side is nothing. No, let's probably ignore that. Scroll horizontally. What about these buttons? Yeah, they're not passed. Scroll is passed though. Strange. Yeah, I guess that. I get 5 times. Maybe that's to do with the speed. Get 15 characters. So do we go through that loop 15 times just for one scroll wheel click? That's not what I want. How to solve that? I guess you have to decode what you get, and then only when it means something, like I recognize that we scroll in a certain direction. Now, after an escape, something should come. Or it is a real escape. That's also possible, of course. I mean, what is 91? I think I can just type it with keys. I hope I don't need a timer to get this working. Oh, that's below the A. Might not be that easy to get it. But, yeah, there it is. Of course. Square bracket open. So escape, square bracket open, and then 66. That's B, capital B. So I can just do escape square bracket open, capital B. And that is one way, and the other way was A. Escape square bracket open, capital A. Up and down, one click. Yeah, well. Let me think. Let's put it not in the completely on the left to begin with. So let's put it somewhere centered. And I want to be able to in the end I want to see want to test just a part. Let's say call this the view size, and we are going to see 90 wide, but the height is maybe, let's say 30 for a start. And I want to put that on the screen. That would be a position. Yeah. I did call it view as well. View pos. So the whole width was 185. I think so. And then 90 wide, so let's say we start at 50 or something like that. Columns. So, and then 30 over the something, I don't know, let's start at 15 or something. And this screen size is nonsense. I just want to have the view size here. And this must be the view pos. So p-refresh should take a position and a dimension. Yeah. And then the first thing is the position inside the view. And that can be still 0 at the moment. Don't need this. Although now it starts, well, it does show it, and this is 50 and this is 15 empty line. So yeah, and still 90 wide clearly. And the view starts here. You can just increment that, of course. So we start at 0 and then I scroll vertically. So that would mean we start at row, first row. Start at 0, and then every time a key is pressed, Need a new loop. Poor man's decoder. Let's see, so the key is 27, then we saw escape, and then we do not anything else, but go to the top. And then if the next key is not escape, but we did see it, and it is now this, then we go here. But if it is not the case, okay, we got here, else, then we need to reset. So escape. Or you can just never do continue and do that at the bottom. This looks a bit ugly, I think. Let's do the reset here. And then I don't even need that actually. I can just do so escape is key equals 27. Yeah, this is different. Well, yeah, nah. This now means we saw a bracket open immediately after an escape. So this reset works, but that... Now setting it to false would work. No, not really. That is dirty as well. Let me just put it here anyway. So first time, so escape is set to true, and then if immediately after that we get that, then this is set to true, and escape is still set to true. Maybe not the best thing to do. Should already reset it here, which then in turn just means that we can do indeed never mind. So that doesn't work either. Damn it. No, this must be done at the bottom. Everybody has unpronounceable names. I've been coding my whole life. I started when I was 12. And now I am 62. So that's 50 years. Well, I only started with C++ when I was 26. And I wouldn't call this proficient, actually. I'm completely messing this up. The only thing that I have going for me is that after all the confusion, it probably will work. If I finally get it sorted out. Okay, so escape, that is break it. Oh, yes, and otherwise we reset it. It's way cleaner, isn't it? And then before that, if it was still open and the key A or B, then now we have decoded that you want to scroll up or down. So this is then either scroll up or scroll down. And which is which? The thing's still open? No, it's not open. Up 65, down is 66. Now, of course, always one of them is set to true now. But I can't really do that with the single boolean, because if we don't get here, then both should be false. It's more than just a boolean. So that would be here then. Or you can do that earlier and then do the test. So slightly less braces. So now exactly at the press of the A or the B, one of them is set. And then I have the problem that I get that 5 times on a row. So now we have to counter how often that happens. Yeah, it's always 5, so I might as well combine it. So if we saw a scroll either way, we'll just count. Yeah, okay, so if plus count mod 5 equals 0. So the first increment is, it becomes 1, and then you get immediately after that a total 5. So the last time is then it's 0, and then we get here. And the count needs to survive, of course, the whole loop. So set the count here into 0. And then we need to update the view. So then we will go to, I'm going to do a break anyway, which means that this is being skipped. But that's not a problem, I think, because then we jump here. So then that is reset to false anyway. And it was already false actually. Okay, so something continue. Continue, not continue. Break. Break out of this loop here, and that means then we go to the top. And then I want the first row to have changed, but not go below 0. So first row must become never less than 0. And otherwise what it was plus no, either one of them is set. So if you're going to scroll up, then what do I want? I want it to go that way, so that's plus. Plus 1 minus 1. On the other hand, it should also not be larger than, yeah, standard min something. So don't we have a standard clamp? Definitely have a clamp somewhere. Clamp, it's not highlighted. Let me look it up. Clamp. Standard clamp. Value low high. Let's use that instead. And the high value is then 100 minus the height of the view size. It's minus 30, so that would be view size height, I guess, subtracted from the 100, which was encoded at the top. Bed line count, whatever. And standard clamp is defined in algorithm. What we already have. I have a lot here. Narrowing conversion from int to uint. That sucks. Then the clamp doesn't work. We subtract 1 and this is unsigned. Then it might flip. I can cast it to an int here. So it's not going to be an int. We have an unsigned something and then we subtract and we add an int. Is that the result, not an int? No, probably not. I don't know. I would say I want this to be an int. So let's make it an int. And then it complained about here. Oh God. Seriously. Yeah. Clamp. No matching function called to clamp int long unsigned int. Where did that come from? Another cast is coming. Yeah, that's annoying. Can make them all. No, this is also unsigned. So definitely not want that. Static cast int. It works. That's what I mean. So I carefully scrolled up. That gave me 5 times a scroll up. And it went 1 line up. Other way around, down. Oh, it does nothing. Oh, and it's dead. What the hell? Try that again. Lorem. It goes 1 and then I can't do anything anymore. But it does go 1. That's something. Interesting. What's wrong? this must be already have the right precedence. Counting is going wrong. It does see the scroll 5 times. Oh, wait a minute, I'm printing it like that. Okay, it always sees the scroll per thing, that works then, but then the count, then after this point, I think it doesn't work anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5x scroll, and another one. There was 6. Ooh. Anyway, another time. So 5x scroll, but it's actually 6. So I miscounted that, I suppose. So this must be 6. The detection works, but first row is not updated. Or the window is not refreshed. It's more likely. Weird, man. Yeah, that's one. It says 5, but okay. It's 6. And then we print it. And do another scroll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so sometimes it's 7. Okay, it's not very reliable. I think dividing it by 5 is good enough then. Just don't want to scroll too fast. Could also use the keyboard, maybe easier. Let's just use 5 here. Yeah, first row is stuck at 1. Well, thank God, that's easier to fix than the refresh didn't work. Why is you can't even get it scrolling up or down? Both make it 6-1. What is wrong with this code? precedence. Yes. Okay, is that fluent enough? Doesn't blink or anything. Forward distance. Oh, that's, you probably can't see that via YouTube, but that looks pretty smooth. Okay, let's make it much bigger. See, that's why those hard-coded things are annoying. Okay, I just make it 2000 lines. Let's keep the width at 90 at the moment. Although, no, let's make it wider as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go for full width here. This is wider than the screen actually. Don't know what will happen. I think that should just work. Let's put it at the pos 5,5. Core dump. Assertion res is unequal -1 failed. That's not useful. Can't move it though. Okay, so the pos is probably negative or something like that. Which pos? The row is larger than the height of the... No, I should have 2000 lines. The height of the window then? No, it's a pad. Why would I not be able to put my pad there? Oh, it's during creation. There. Yeah, that's what I thought. It introduced hard-coded constants, but did not replace these. Stupid. It just showed the whole thing, which is also not possible, actually, because it's wider than the screen. So now I'm trying to show a portion of the screen that doesn't exist. Let's hope that this crashes as well, and then see where it crashes. So there's one here. Yep. We are bored where? It doesn't like to be refreshed like that, which is the first time I passed my screen size. It doesn't fit. Do I need to clamp this thing, which is a dimension, such that it doesn't go past the actual screen size? How to do that? What is this? Scroll. We have a scroll. Why not C#? Yeah. Why not Java? Because anything invented in Bell Labs is better than the rest. Certainly if it is just made up for commercial reasons. I'm quite happy with C++. Plus, when I started in C++, the C# did not exist. Well, C++ hardly existed. There was no standard yet. Okay, so this dimension, and then of the dimension we need simply the width. Minus call, I guess, the column of the top left position, which is the 30, yeah. So I'll just subtract 30. I have my doubts about it. Maybe it's apart from that it doesn't even compile. It's a stupid thing again. Why is paddle line width not just an int? Because AI decided to use a size type there. Ridiculous. Okay, let's be normal and just use ints for ints. It's not like it needs a size type here. Suddenly all the costs will disappear, I bet. What is my width returning? Width is also returning not an int, is it? No, that doesn't work. Dimension, is that also dimension width? uint. But then minus 30, that is probably going to be an int. I just always use int because you should not use unsigned stuff unless, I don't know, you really need the last bit for some reason. I think this works because it's an equal sign, except that now one is signed and the other one is not. So maybe it doesn't work. This definitely doesn't work. And I blame size. And dimension takes, see that is slightly annoying. It takes an uint 32. Okay, I cave in. I'll just make it an uint. A cave. So how do you say that? A give in. Yeah, that's what I meant, I think. Blah, 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 blah. There's again size. I want to use int. Just now I'm going to add costs. It compiles, no error. I can probably remove cost. That's what I mean. I'm going to remove cost. Static costs. That shouldn't be necessary anymore, should it? First row was an int. Okay, still necessary. Yeah, that must be an int, otherwise you have a problem. So still necessary. Well, we can scroll. Looks pretty smooth. There's something flickering here in the corner. Cursor appeared here. Yeah, another cursor appeared here. What the fuck? Yeah, scroll down. I want to go this way, and then that lorem ipsum sits there. Okay. And then the real test was if you have like 3 or so of these things on the screen below each other, and on each show a part of the whole text. So you put one here, and then one here, and then one here, and then we update all 3 of them like this, and then it looks like a single scroll. I already know that that is going to work, but okay, that was the test. Doesn't really matter where to put it. I guess the more I use of the window, the slower it is, probably. So let's just put it at the top. That's a good question. Why is it not filling until the end of the window? That is a good question. $159 wide. With a weird number as well. I'm using Linux. GNU Linux. Okay. Yeah, that is this. The width is 185 and I subtract 30. No, it's not. Well, almost. Or, I don't know. Is it? Well, you ask for the operating system. Arch. I'm using Arch, by the way. How do you say that? I'm yet confused. Again. Bad. Standard screen should be, is it printed? Linux 8. the width of my screen is 189. Minus those 30 is 159. So apparently this plus that is 30, and I should not have subtracted 30, I should have subtracted that, which is 5. Where does that 5 come from then? I put that 5 in somewhere, but where? This 5, okay. Yeah, it's not a size, I'm a complete idiot. So view pos X should have been subtracted there. View pos, I don't know, X probably. Let's see, position, row and call. Okay, call then. X, there's no X. So rows and calls, that's what you have. And now it goes till the end of the window. Yep. Okay, let's put it, let's have one empty line here, why not? So we make this 1, and then I want to have 3 of them-ish. So let's make them 20 high or something instead of 30. Call. Wait, that is width. It is call. Yeah. Okay, and this is a row. So row is now 1, call is still 5. And I want to show 20 rows. Plus you want to have 3 of those things now. Which means that I also have 3 poses. Just the position, view pos, yeah. The view size is actually the size. Yeah, that's the same for that could be the same for all of them. Certainly the width should be the same. So let's put them in an array. Where's my pad? Here's a pad. Standard array of window pads, three of them. Pads. And I'll run over them. P is less than pads size. Plus P. No, I have 1 pad. No, I have 3 pads. Ugh. Okay, this is slightly more complicated. Yeah, it seems silly to have a threefold duplication of the same thing. But in the end, they are going to be different things. I just combine this now so it's easier to see that it scrolls smoothly or something like that. I think. Yeah. So we have 3 pads with the same content. Which means that I also have to fill them all 3. It's a bit confusing to call it view indeed, because that is a position on the screen. It's not a good name. It is the position of the view on the screen, but that reads a bit like a position in the view. It's more the pad position then, or pad view position. So on the screen, the first one begins at row 1, and then the next one is below that. So if the size that I show is 20 in 20 rows, and it is. Now I have 20 so much that I probably should make that a constant. Yeah, I don't need this. Just do this plus something. What can I add to a position? I think not another position. Plus a margin. Does that make sense? Okay. Make a margin then. But then I have to be able to multiply a margin with an integer. I'm not sure how this is going to work. P times that. You never know. I cannot do anything with margins. Maybe we should just initialize it in the loop. Yeah, I don't know. Probably how it works. So we have paired view positions. And the view size needs a call, which is the same for all of them. So I might as well use the first one then. That was that 5, right? So we'll just use this one. And then I should do the same for the height, I guess, in case the window is smaller than all 3 allow. But I only have 1 view size, so let's not do that. And I need three view sizes, or I don't know. Take into account that only 2 fit on the screen, and one of them only partially. There. That is not a test at the moment. So we need to do this for all 3 pads. How? Not pad, but pad P. Refresh. And then this is the pad view pulse P. And this is the first row, depending on that, there must be also plus something. Plus P times the height. Pad view height. What? Use of deleted function standard row. You cannot do that. I'll make it empty. What? Private? Because cannot make empty windows. Okay, annoying, but who's counting? I have to construct them immediately. Challenging. Interesting. I don't know. I suppose there is a way, if say the 3 was much larger, then I would have to jump through hoops. But since this is only a test and I don't have time for this, I'm just going to fill it without a loop. Caps lock. P was not declared in this scope. Yeah, that's because error deleted function again. Oh boy. Position cannot be default constructed either. That's always annoying. That's always annoying. Let's just invent a default construction. Usually I did say default and then it gets uninitialized, which I consider better than filling it with zeros and then immediately overriding it again. That's stupid. Although probably compiled optimization that would be removed anyway by the compiler. Still, I'd also say construct an uninitialized position. And then you have to fill it afterwards, of course, and there is no way to do that. Well, we have an automatically generated copy constructor still, I think. This is not deleting the copy constructor. As well as an assignment, this thing. So you can default construct it and assign it later or copy over it. Narrowing conversion. There we are again with the narrowing conversion stuff. Yeah, I think p times the pad width height is again, or it's both an int even. Let's try making this an unsigned. Just that was a different computer. Just try it. Failed. It's still complaining about narrowing something. Still the same place, so that didn't work. Martin, oh, Martin takes an unsigned int 8. Yeah, well, okay. We can't multiply with an int and then hope to get an uint 8. Paired was not declared. Crash. Aborted. Guess you have to run it in the debugger. Refresh is not happy. That should still work. That is more wide than my pad is. So that's why it probably doesn't work. Yeah, looks also correct. So I think the width is not correct. The width of the screen size, the last argument. the minimum of. So yeah, it should be at most this value, which should be, oh, which is, wait a minute. It's wider. That was 200, I think. Yeah. So it's the other way around. It is 200 wide. So what I said is wrong. This is less than the pad width. I don't get it. I don't get it. We do get, yeah, wait a minute. It's 1 plus 3 times 20 now. 61. We don't have 61 lines vertically. And I didn't want to test that. So my window is just not large enough. Or the 20 is too much. We have only 52 lines. Let's say 51 divided by 3 is 17. Let's try 17. And then, thank God, we made a constant. Only have to change it in one place. And there we are. Now it's hard to see that this is one running text actually. I think it's wrong because it looks like it starts over here again already. So we would have 17 lines now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then it continues here, which is then the question, if that's correct, but I guess it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That does look good actually. And the repeats, maybe just repeats after 5. It just really repeats here. Let's get one paragraph, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Yeah. Okay, and then we move it up 1, down 1, up, down. Yeah, looks good. You would never guess that this is actually 3 pads. Except from the blinking cursor. Is there a way to turn the cursor off while scrolling? Oh, there's something goes wrong here. Oh, actually, it did go so wrong that we crashed. Aborted. But okay, the test is successful. It's fast. It's fast enough. Or yeah. Nobody can read this. This is again the pfresh thing. Bad pulse. 2000. That's a Probably one past the end. It shouldn't change. It's also not. The whole problem is that the 2000 is too big. What are we building? Well, you can read the description below the video. I'm explaining there what I'm doing. Yeah. Yes. Why do we have 2000 here? For pet pause. Great. Yeah, that totally works. Totally works. Test succeeded. Let's commit this and then we know that we can continue with designing it like that. Mysterious Linux 8S trace. Blink, blink. Where does that come from? What? It's an actual S trace. Someone is hacking my computer. Who is doing an S trace? Well, the AI must have done it. S trace it somewhere. Okay, I probably did. Must have. We can remove this and this and this. That's a lot of different places for that to appear, but okay. I just want to have a git status. This is still a bit weird. How is my terminal depending on our TUI? It's totally not. But something doesn't work if I remove it. The reason is that we try to print a tool timeline status. Which is defined in the TUI lib. Tests. But that's not even mentioned in terminal for obvious reasons. But okay, it's debug output. So apparently I'm printing debug output somewhere which drags that definition in, which is okay. Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't know. No, it's still weird. Well, first commit for Do we even have an our debug? Did not rename that one, I think. No, we've added it too. And the AI nukes the whole world, because if all of humanity dies, then this weird dependency will go away as well. I'm glad I got it to use short path. Pounded on that it has to use these environment variables instead of full path, and it does. It's much better readable than what the full path would have been looked like. Would have looked like. Ah, haha, that patch fails. So your cat trying to hack me. Try to sneak in. No, never mind. Printing get max x. Why? It's just printing a dimension or something like that. Yeah, and it adds. I want to get rid of it, and it adds it instead. I might as well not change this. So it's trying two things at once. It thinks, well, maybe this drags it in, so let's just print the integer values. And at the same time, it adds a dependency on that library that I wanted to get rid of. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It removes the dependency on TUI. Why is it still here? I thought I kicked that out as well. Or did it add it back? Or I'm so totally confused. The dependency came from this debug statement. Dimension print members is generated into one large our TUI print members.cpp object. The same object also contains, like that. Okay, I'm getting it. Yeah. Let's see if I still get it. If I want to. The thing is, this thing does not have its own print members. What is generating print? Actually, it does. Well, but this is a custom written print member, so it doesn't count. That one is just for a border grapheme cluster. All the others are generated, I think, by the cmake.txt here. It just includes terminal somehow. Subdirectory, not like that. No, it does not. It's probably not here. Okay. So that exists, but there is no separate TUI/terminal print members. The terminal print members go into this thing for some reason. Well, yeah, that then should not be the case, I think. Yeah, on the end, the TUI is the only one that's going to use the terminal. In the end, so I guess kind of is okay. But not if you want to run tests that exclusively use terminal and do not want to link with the TUI. Yeah, well. Oh, it's I'm at the top. You scroll. I'm scrolling the wrong way. It's slightly counterintuitive if it scrolls differently than you're using, differently than everything else. Horrible clang format. I don't want this. Fiddle not found. Yay! It moved this one back, which was already committed. Guess the other one did not change now. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Ugh. In this case, I would say I want them like that, but yeah. If there are these single numbers, then of course you can put them on one line. Ali Reza, it's in the description. And I'm already finished with that, actually. I'll show you the test program in a second. As soon as I committed this. Right, so this is kind of weird, a bit annoying, but well, let's add a comment to it. Or just remove the whole thing. It's probably even better. We know what that is. It just is what it is. That's what it is. It's also not used. Go away. Ah, much better. The weirdness is completely gone. Okay, you want to know what I am doing, right? So, well, so like the description says, I wanted to test scrolling of a few pads, say 3. So here we have I have 3 pads here, which are terminal windows, and they are positioned such that they well, I show them, but they contain the same content actually. So there are 3 pads with the same 2000 lines in it for this test. And then here I show all 3 of them, and I put them in a way that they are one after another. So pad 1 shows this block, and then the next pad sits here, and that shows exactly the next 20 lines in the pad. So you see the first 20 lines of what is in the pad, and then you see the 20 lines that come after that. So line 21 till 40. Actually 17 lines, and then till 34, and then till whatever that is, 17 plus 4. 3 times is 51, I guess. But you see this, so you see 3 pad views into a pad, but they look in exactly at the right place, so that actually it looks like you are seeing just one pad, a bigger block of one pad. That was the test, and then the test is of course scrolling, seeing if scrolling is still looking smooth. No, and it turns out to be the case. So this is the text. So really these are 17 lines and then again 17 and again 17, each from 3 different pads, but they have the same content, and I show the right place every time, so it looks like it's it's the same block. You're asking that to a C++ diehard who has done his whole life nothing else than coding in C++. So the only answer you would ever get from me is C++ is cool. But yeah, I don't know. It must be your thing. Apparently a lot of people find it very hard to code in C++ without making all kinds of horrible mistakes. And if you are that kind of person, then it's not for you, because it does allow you to make horrible mistakes. So depending on the mistakes that you make, if you make mistakes, if you don't make mistakes, then C++ is super cool. And if you can't code because you're too stupid and you make mistakes all the time, then you could choose for a language that protects you against it. And then you have to combine of course, the question with a career path, you know, increase the chances to get a job. Well, I would say if you are very good, so good that C++ is your language because you don't make mistakes, then you will get a job. But if you are not good enough to code in C++ because you didn't, do it 7 days a week from that you woke up till you go to sleep for 10 years, then, no going out, no girlfriends or boyfriends. Well, okay, maybe I exaggerate a little bit, but it's my life. I've done absolutely nothing else. And I think that a lot of people don't dedicate themselves enough, probably, to a course like that. So they will never get really good. And if then you become like most professional C++ coders, aka they can't code, and they make those mistakes all the time, memory leaks and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, then should you get a job then, you know, as a C++ programmer? Now maybe you're better off than learn that other language as well. Maybe you learn several languages if you want to get a job. Oh, I can do this and that and that. Throw it at me and I can do it. I think this scrolls perfectly. My team partner in Ava tried this for weeks, I think, scrolling, and he couldn't get it to work. And I did it in a couple of hours. Yay. Yeah, the trick is to understand that scrolling has to be done on the video card. So I started to look at support of ncurses directly. I just asked AI what, just like, does this or that exist? And it did describe it. I didn't talk about scrolling. I just described what I wanted. And then it said, oh, it sounds a lot like what ncurses calls a pad. So then I started to look into the documentation of what a pad is, and yeah. And then I kept in mind, because I really thought about this, typed it out loud even on Discord, the thoughts. That, you know, you give somehow have this mental picture of that it is on the video card, and if you just render it in a different place, then it's a matter of updating a single pointer. I mean, this is rendered 60 times per second, so you might as well the next frame, you know, render it somewhere else. If it is already on the video card, it's going to be fast. But what you don't want to do is have to change whatever is on the video card, because then you have to send it from the PC memory through the CPU to the video card. You know, that's slow. So you really had to think about how to be able to do certain things without the need to rewrite those pads. So now the thing is, if this is a pad and this is a pad, I'd rather look like this. So if you look like here, this is a pad, and this is a pad, and this is a pad, and this is a sub window. And if we scrolled up 1,000 lines, so there is 1,000 lines in the pad below this. It's not visible, but it is in the pad. Suppose everything was in the pad, and we click to expand. That was the problem. If you click on this, now, see, it gets 2 lines. 2 lines more. So the 1,000 lines that are below this, if they were in one pad, then we had to move 1,000 lines in the pad. So that means updating the video card memory with 1,000 lines, just because we click here. And I wanted to avoid that. So then I thought, well, I might as well, you know, use different pads. So this is a pad and this is a pad. And now if I click it, then this pad, the contents don't change. The only thing that changes is where it is being rendered. So I just update the position on the screen. And what is in the video card memory is already there. And same here. This whole text is already on the video card. Just in this case, we have a smaller view. And if you click on it, it shows more. But the data itself does not have to be sent to the video card. So you can click it very quickly. And this is super fast updating. Same here, of course. Yeah. See, these things move down, but they don't move in the video card. They're just rendered at a different place. So you need multiple pads. That's the thing. And then the question was, is that really true? Is it going to be, you know, well, now I'm scrolling. If this is like that, because this open code is written in TypeScript, I don't know how it works, but I know it looks smooth. But the question is, if I'm going to implement that with a pad and a pad and a pad and a pad, you know, can I then scroll that still smoothly? Well, I had the feeling that it was the case, but it's going to take a lot of time to implement it. And if then it turns out not to work, that would suck. So I had to test that up front, of course. And now we know that it is going to work. So I'm just going to have a list of pads, and for each pad we have a certain view which you can increase or decrease. It was also another decision that I made, that should say, the question was, is every pad, what you call it a block now, does a block exist of, well, actually, no, let's call it a pad, but just yeah, I don't know, let's call it a pad. Does this pad exist of blocks, where a block can be 1 line or maybe 2 or 3? Can be a few lines, normally 1, and not usually a lot more, I think. That are always the full width of the pad. And then this example here, where you see color div, looks like that is not the case. I mean, this red line here looks, you know, completely different from this block here. So you would get the feeling, well, I need a block here. This is a block, and I need a block here. But after some thinking, that's not true. I mean, the left and right correlation here is huge. If there's a block here, then there must be something here. You see, it's empty. This is one thing. It's the what did not exist here and does exist there block. Same thing here. This is the what did exist at line 162, but is replaced with line 163 till 166 block. So I think this is one block, and it does run from the beginning to the end. So that's how I'm going to implement the pads. They are just a list of blocks that span the whole width of the pad. But the height per block can be one or more line. So in this case, I'm just going to have a block for this line and a block for this line. Well, maybe not actually, because it's auto wrapping. Huh? So if you make the window less wide, now you can think here. Yeah? So that this block here changed where it wraps. So actually this is one sentence, and it just wraps until it fits in this width. And then if you make it wide, then it wraps later. But yeah, if I do it like that, then you get, of course, a lot more lines. I just said, well, normally it's one line, and sometimes maybe a few more. Okay, maybe a block is just a sentence that might or might not be wrapped. Well, here is no wrapping. This is really a different line. That also depends a lot on what ncurses supports. What I've seen so far is that ncurses does not support wrapping, or does it? If it does support wrapping, then I should do that, I guess. I should just give ncurses the whole sentence and then let ncurses do the wrapping. I must already have tested it, but I forgot it again. So you can find that back. Linux 7 was just full grapheme. This is full with all kinds of shit. 5 white characters per terminal cell. Wrapping, yeah, that must be the one. Oh, you see that? It is wrapped, yeah. But, okay. Not very nicely wrapped though. It wraps it, but in the middle of a word. It's probably not what we want. It's not what open code is doing. I think we have to take control of the wrapping ourselves, so we can wrap to the spaces or so. Yeah. Not gonna make use of this. Definitely also need a mode then, well, for ncurses. Although we never want to scroll horizontally, actually. Do we? Nah, normally not. OpenCode is not doing it, and I don't think there's ever a reason to scroll horizontally. It just wraps everything, which is a lot nicer to work with. Having to scroll horizontally is super annoying, of course. Might as well not support it. So if then you try to force a long line that doesn't fit, then you might as well have ncurses wrap it in the middle of a word, because then you're doing the wrong thing to begin with. But that means that the actual line that we're going to put into it is this, without the alpha, because we want it, we have to stop here, because otherwise it will wrap it between the alpha and the beta. So we can only do something that is less wide than the window, and then have with software on the CPU side decide that the next line starts at alpha, and then put this on the next line. Which then in turn means that if you have well, something that is wrapped, now of course nothing is wrapped, oh yeah, this is wrapped, then this must be a single block, because we use software to determine where we want to, yeah, there's at least a space here. So this is one line, and then there is a space here because we did not want to wrap between the T and the E. And then this is the next line, because we want the T of the terminal on the next line. Now it looks like there's a space here, but of course there is not, because yeah, it's a path. So yeah, back to blocks are usually one line. When it is not is a very peculiar. Actually, now I think about it, even then, well, I was going to show this. If you do Control P, then we have for quit or exit, how is it called? I can't find it. Yeah, exit up. Exit up has three shortcuts. And if you make the window super small, then they wrap. First it eats up the exit the app until there's only 3 characters left. And this must be shown. So this wraps instead of that it is being eaten. And then the Control plus XQ goes to the next line. And if I make it even less wide, then all 3 are different lines. So I was thinking this whole thing that gets highlighted here is one block. And now it's 3 lines high. But it's also not. From the point of view of ncurses, this must be 3 different things, because ncurses doesn't wrap like this. That wraps in the middle of a word at the end of the width here. So we must have chosen with the software, or the Ava software in this case, to show it up till and including the comma, and then stop. This is one line here. Oh God, if you select it, then it thinks that you want to exit. No, I just selected it. Bad code. I think I'm going to bed. Right. Yeah, let's finish. I'm going to bed and stuff. Maybe do something else. Maybe watch a little bit of a movie or something. But definitely going to stop streaming. I finished my test, so have a good day, and I'll see you.